welcome to my third video on double stops. In the previous videos we did octaves with open string and third finger, sixths with open string and first finger, thirds with second finger and open string, and unisons with fourth finger and open string. It's important when you start working at double stops to work with open strings because they have a fixed pitch. Also, it doesn't make much sense to have two fingers on the fingerboard before you've actually built up your hand position. That's most noticeable in thirds. You can't really expect yourself to play thirds with fourth finger and second finger if you can't do unisons with your fourth finger and open strings yet, because your fourth finger, which is the shortest finger, has to build a bridge over the open string, and that bridge has to be such that the open string can resonate freely, and that'll take a bit of time to build up. The next important part of developing a good intonation, and also a very important aspect of Paganini's technique, is a chordal approach. You only need to look at Paganini's music to see that his approach was chordal, perhaps influenced by his guitar playing. We will start with what you can already do. This is what we did in the video Double Stops 1. You start on the G and D string. Then you play the octave with the third finger G on the D string. Major sixth, first finger E on the D string. And the octave again. Same thing on the D and A string. Octave with the third finger D on the A string. Major sixth with the first finger B on the A string. And the octave again. Same on the A and E string. Octave with the third finger A on the E string. Major sixth with the first finger S sharp on the E string. And the octave again. And now we're going to do the same thing in minor. Start off with the same thing. Start on the G and D string. Then the octave. And now your first finger on the E flat on the D string. I'll show you again. As I explained in the previous videos, stay on each double stop until it's completely in tune. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You have to train your ear to hear, and you have to train your fingers to correct. So even if you're taking a long time over getting an octave right, it doesn't matter, because the whole time you're trying to get it right, you are practicing hearing and you are practicing correction speed. So that's what you're supposed to do. So don't worry about it if it takes time. Now go on, do the same thing on the D and A string. Octave with the third finger D on the A string. Sixth with the first finger B flat on the A string. Octave with the third finger A on the E string. Sixth with the first finger F on the E string. So when you start practicing this, don't worry about a rhythm. Stay on the notes until they're in tune. Make sure you play with a good sound, so use a comfortable speed of bow, so that if you're going make it sound as good as you possibly can. You have to like the sound that you're hearing. Don't worry about how long it takes. And as you get better at it, you can have the goal to play each double stop with one bow using a comfortable bow speed. Next, we're going to work on thirds and unisons. We're going to start with major chords. I explained that in detail in the video double stops too. Start on the A and E string. Second finger C sharp on the A string. Now fourth finger E on the A string. And the C sharp again. Same thing on the D and A string. Second finger F sharp. Fourth finger A. And the same thing on the G and D string. Second finger B. Fourth finger D. Now we're going to do the same thing in minor. Start on the A and E string again. And now you put your second finger on the A string as a C. And then the fourth finger on the E. And the C again. That's. Notice how much greater the distance feels between the second and fourth finger. Take time to get that right. It might take you a bit of time because you're widening the hand at the bass joints, which is very important for violin playing, but it could take a bit of time before you can do it. Practice getting from the second finger to the fourth finger. Stay on until it's in tune. Be very critical. The point is not to hit it perfectly. The point is to hear as quick as you can and to correct as quick as you can. But you'll only be able to do that fast if you give yourself plenty of time to do that at first. Now the next thing, we're going to do the same thing on the D and A string. Then you put your second finger on the D string as F and the fourth finger A. On the G and D string. Second finger B flat on the G string. Fourth finger D. Especially on the lower strings, that's quite a stretch. So that can take a bit of time before you can do it. Remember, when you're moving from higher strings to lower strings, to bring your elbow to the right, and when you're moving from lower strings to higher strings, to bring your elbow back to the left. That's very important for your hand position. Now, after I've been going on and on about how important it is to stay on the note until it's in tune and to discard any rhythm, in the next video we're going to start putting all of this into a rhythmical frame. We're going to start working at it with a metronome, and the point of that is because that will push you a little bit and it will increase your correction speed. So, see you next time.